From the heart of Sacramento, where the crown stays on and the lights go off, this is the Sac Blackout Podcast. No filters, no limits, just straight raw talk. We're bringing you everything sports, music, culture, and the real conversations they don't want you to have. So when the lights go out, you already know what time it is. Sac Blackout Podcast. All right, here we go. A little off there, a little bit. All right, so this is the Sac Blackout Podcast. We're just gonna be doing a random live right now, just talking about just what Raider news is just gonna be coming up. Obviously, we like to talk about the signing of Fernando Mendoza. Just what was it? July 23rd, he was signed to a 4-year deal that was worth $57.27 million with a 38.1 guaranteed, fully guaranteed signing bonus and a 5th-year option, which I believe that's just a standard rookie contract right there. So you got that. Oh, shit. Oh, hold on here, buddy. All right, so I got the fan going. So it's going to be blowing my flag out here in the back. All right, so like I said, we got the Sac Blackout Podcast right now going on, and the we can talk about everything Raiders. We can talk about anything else that you want to talk about. But in the meantime, I'm gonna just talk about Fernando. All right, so going into that, I wanted to bring up this. So, number one overall draft pick for quarterbacks, dating back all the way as far back as 1998. It goes back a hell of a lot further. With I believe I forget the first person that they always bring up, but then it's Terry Bradshaw that comes up, and then Jim Plunkett right after that. Jim Plunkett actually was a very interesting story on how all that worked out with Jim Plunkett. So with Jim Plunkett, he was originally drafted here. Let me pull it up. He was originally drafted by the New England Patriots, and he was signed to a 4-year deal. And he later on, I haven't pulled it up yet. And then he later was, I believe, because he didn't do too well in New England, they didn't like him, so they were like, all right, fuck it, we're just gonna, just going to ship you off. The 49ers ended up picking him up. So he played for the 49ers for a little bit. 2 years, actually, to be exact, from what I remember. So let's go to that. All right, so became the first overall. Yeah, so he was actually the first overall draft pick. Let me see. He's born in San Jose, California. Two blind parents. Overcoming an early thyroid cancer scare and tumor removal during his freshman year. He put together a stellar collegiate career. So, like I said, selected first overall in the 1971 NFL draft by the New England Patriots, Plunkett faced early struggles amid struggling franchise, later playing a stint with the San Francisco 49ers. So, like I said, he did about 4 years with the he played out his 4 years in New England, and then he went to the 49ers. Spent about 2 years there, where he would inevitably end up in the Raiders organization in 1978, winning a Super Bowl in 1980 and 83 season. So, if you want to compare, a Raider first round pick, well, he wasn't necessarily a first round pick for the Raiders, but he was a first number 1 overall pick. Didn't have a really good career for the first 4 years. He later on landed at a franchise that I guess utilized him very well, and he ended up winning 2 Super Bowls with that. So, let me see. I think so the comments should be open for anybody that wants to comment on that. Also, I'm going to be having a phone number here. I'm going to be dropping in pretty soon, a lot also for the subscribers. So it just helps, subscribe. If you're not already a subscriber, it definitely helps out the podcast. We talk a lot about the Raiders. We will be talking a lot more sports and everything else as we get into it. Just trying to fill it out a little bit right now. So anybody that is watching right now, thank you so much. Okay. So getting back into this right now. So like I said, he was picked first round overall, number 1 overall in the first round. Fernando Mendoza, and he is already, from what a lot of the reports are saying, is that he's doing very, very well. He's picking it up. Now, does he have a lot to prove going into the training camp? Obviously, he does. He's got a lot on his shoulders right now. He's first pick. He won a championship in the college with Indiana Hoosiers last year, and he's coming off like fresh. He's got tons of accolades. So coming in, he's going to definitely have to prove that he can not only handle the new scheme that they got coming up with Kubiak, but he's definitely going to have to prove that he can play a hard-nosed football in the NFL. Of course, it's going to be a lot different. We won't know until he starts playing. We're all hoping that he's going to be picking up. I personally don't think that it's a bad idea if he doesn't start game 1. Don't put him in. But if he ends up beating out, let's just say that he ends up beating out Cousins. Okay. He ends up beating out Cousins in training camp. And they're like, you know what? We're going to be putting you in. You're starting game 1. If he starts game 1, say he throws for 230 plus yards, he gets like 1 touchdown, a couple of interceptions. But they win the game. Does that make it a successful debut? Or does he have to win the game if he goes in? I don't think so. I think if he's going to be starting, I don't think necessarily that he has to win in order for it to be a successful NFL debut. So, all right, going back into this list right here. So, like I said, I dated all the way back to 1998. Peyton Manning was a first round overall draft pick. He was drafted by the Indianapolis Colts, played in game 1. Okay. So these are going to be a list of players that played game 1 and see how they did. As you can see right here, I'm just going to point it out. There's only 2 greens in there. So that means there's only 2 quarterbacks that won their quarterback debut in the league. So Peyton Manning gets drafted, plays the Dolphins. Sound familiar? So he plays the Dolphins, loses 24-15. He ends up throwing 302 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, and he ends up losing the game. Does that mean that he had a successful debut? I mean, you don't know. 302 yards. I mean, would you say that's successful? What his career was after that. He ended up balling out as much as he could. Didn't win a Super Bowl with Indianapolis, but he ends up winning a Super Bowl later with the Broncos. Actually, no, he did win one with the Yeah, that's right. So going next to David Carr, 2002. He was drafted by the Houston Texans. He played against Dallas and won 19-10. Not a surprise. And now I'm just playing. I'm just playing. If there's any Cowboy fans out there, I'm just playing. Okay. Um, so yeah, so you have that going on. Um, let me just in case my guys have time to come in here. I'm gonna send out a SOS here. It's not an SOS. It's just a get. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna try something here. Hopefully, what was that? Okay, so I don't know if that's going through or not. I might doubt it. Okay, and then Wyatt Redding. Bear with me, guys. It's a live show. You know what do you expect? Live shows. Okay. I think I sent it. I know I'll try again in a little while. All right, so David Carr, he ends up winning the game. He ends up throwing 145 yards, threw only 145 yards and still won the game because he got two touchdowns, only one interception, and 31 yards. So compared to him and Peyton Manning, obviously the interceptions did not help. But I mean, you see the yard difference that they were throwing. Yeah, 302 yards with Peyton Manning and then 145 with David Carr. Now we can go on ahead and go through the list. If you've already been looking at it, go on ahead and take a look. But then what I really want to get back down to are the last five quarterbacks that were drafted and where they went. Okay, so we're gonna go start with Joe Burrow. We can speak on Kyler Murray, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so Joe Burrow gets drafted by the Bengals. He ends up playing the Chargers, loses 16-13, throws for 193 yards, no touchdowns, interception, and 27. Now, I would say win or lose in that game, I don't think that was a successful debut for him. But Joe Burrow ended up having a great career. Um, let me see, went to the Super Bowl, so he did good with that. Trevor Lawrence in the very next year gets drafted by the Jaguars, plays against the Houston Texans, loses 37-21. Not bad because he ends up throwing 332 yards, three touchdowns, same amount of interceptions, and 27 yards that he goes for rushing. Then, but then you would think that that was a huge success, but look at the numbers by Cam Newton. Cam Newton actually was the best quarterback out of this class right here to get drafted first round and start game one to have a great debut. Even though they lost, but he threw for 422 yards, two touchdowns, and didn't rush for any touchdowns, but he ended up with 27 rushing yards. Still threw an interception, but nonetheless, you can say that that was a successful debut. Um. So Bryce Young, drafted by the Carolina Panthers, ends up playing the Atlanta Falcons, loses 24-10. Not bad, 20-38, throws for 146 yards, one touchdown, two interceptions, and it goes on from there. Caleb Williams, 93 yards passing, and then Cam Ward, 246 yards, two touchdowns, two interceptions. The only one that did not, or there were actually three that actually did not throw any touchdowns. Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow, and Caleb Williams. They didn't, in their debut, they did not throw a touchdown. So, I mean, if we want to go on ahead and look at the history of all this, you can just go on ahead and say that there is a good chance that if he does start, plays game one, Fernando Mendoza is going to be able to score some touchdowns. It's NFL. It's professional football. He should be able to do well, especially with the new Kubiak system. So, we'll go from there. All right. Let me bring this back down. Now I thought I had the music set up, but let me check my audio real quick. So I'm using the Zoom. I thought the audio was going to go through, but I don't know if I hit. Oops. Is there a way to turn it down? No, there isn't. All right, so let's pull this down. Oops, we don't want that all. Let's go. There we go. I like that. Okay. So like I said, welcome in. If you are tuning in right now, this is the Sack Blackout podcast. We're just going to be talking about some random stuff. If you guys are interested, I will be having a phone number here that I'll be putting up pretty soon. We'll be taking some calls. I would like to get a lot more people. So when I do get more people that are subscribed, that jump in, watch, and really want to get down and talk, don't necessarily have a chance to get on the show, because I think we're only limited to like 3 people. um, but yeah, they can't get on the show. You can always still be able to call in. We want to be able to interact with everybody as much as we possibly can, and be able to give back, some good, positive, and some factual information, and not just some stuff that we just, think of. And a lot of the stuff is based on facts. So, I go into the Raiders, uh, the Raiders app. I'm on X, Instagram. They do have some stuff every now and then on TikTok, but we'll go from there. All right, so Fernando Mendoza enters in the first training camp ready to learn, listen, and lean into the grind. Okay, so we got a preseason game coming up August 13th. So let me go on ahead and tell you guys about that. Yeah, that first game is going to be against the Arizona Cardinals, and we're looking forward to it. We, as a club, the Black Hole Sacramento chapter, we are going to be at the Shenanigans Kitchen and Bar in Citrus Heights, California, 7431 Madison Avenue. And if I can pull that up for you, that'd be Tony the Tiger. Give me a second. Yeah, cause we'll be there. I'll be there to be able to DJ and get everybody, hyped up for it. So I know it's a Thursday night game, but if you're available and in Sacramento and you want to watch the game for preseason, come through. It's always exciting. Bring the kids. It is a family-friendly event, so always join in. The president chapter will most likely end up being there a little bit late, but you can catch me keeping it warm for him. So. All right, there we go. So, like I said, the first preseason game Thursday, August 13th at Shenanigans, 7431 Madison Avenue. Also, the Momo Smokehouse will be providing the good eats and, Shenanigans with the good drinks. This is a Black Hole situation, so come on through. Like I said, bring your friends, bring your family, bring the kids. It is a kitchen and bar, so it's not just, good for the adults. There's food there. Fries, maybe little pizza, some chicken wings and stuff like that. They got good stuff. Come through and check it out. And then one other event that's going to be coming up here on the 1st. Let me get that one in. I think there's another one. I'll just drop this one there. So yeah, it's going to be exciting, and we're going to be at we're going to be in Vegas too for the game opener. I should be able to get a ticket to get into the game. I know a lot of us that are going to be attending the game. If I don't, then I'll probably be at the whiskey bar across the street from the venue. All right, so coming up August 1st, that's going to be this Saturday coming up, August 1st, 2026 at 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Mesa Verde High School, at the Mesa Verde High School for the girls basketball team. A lot of the proceeds that they're going to be collecting are, going to be going to the girls basketball team. So it's not only going to just be, a fundraiser. It's often going to be something to be able to give back to the kids. Keep up with the youth programs, because remember, a lot of these adults that we're watching in NFL started off as kids. You know what I'm saying? So let's try to help the next superstar. So it's going to be a car and bike show. So if you're interested in nice cars, nice rides, or you just love to just if you're an enthusiast or you just like just looking at them, come through. It's going to be there. 7501 Carriage Drive, I believe it is. I think I cut off the Let me see. Yeah, 7501 Carriage. I think it's Carriage Road. Oh, I'll have to get that information. But yeah, it's going down this Saturday. Hit us up for more information about it, and then we'll go from there. Okay, let's talk about some stuff. Let me see what I can bring up. What can I bring up? So the last show that we had Wyatt talking about Jackson Power Johnson. Being that he was, he went as far as saying that he is going to be a veteran that's going to be fighting for his job, because he, and I'll pull up some stats here on him in a little bit. Um, it's kind of rough to be able to say that players who were drafted, let's just say by 2020, it's hard to be able to say that they didn't do very well or they weren't playing up to par. They didn't have a very structured or a legitimate staff to be able to work with and to actually say, anytime that you have a new regime, anytime that you have a new kind of thing, of course they're professionals, they should be able to pick it up and be able to get be good at it. But the fact of the matter is they had to learn a whole new system every single year and that's tough. Give me a second here. So pulling up his stats. So his career stats, yeah, like he played 23 games, started in 21. So all in 23, at least two of the games that he didn't start in. Been with us for 2 seasons. 2024 second round pick, 44th overall. Um, they say he's versatile. He seems to be more of a right tackle. I mean, I'm sorry, a right guard. I think that's pretty much where his home is at. I mean, yes, he played center, um, but the thing was that he was kind of forced into that position. Playing right, or left guard, whatever it is, the position he's going to play. He's a better guard than I would think that he would be a better center. But there's a lot of speculation around that he isn't going to be around very much, that he's probably going to be on the trading block. I don't see why they should do that when probably he is probably the most important key to that team, just in case somebody goes down. And we don't ever want to talk about anybody going down at all. We are afraid of that kryptonite of what they call an injury. We want to be able to keep these guys healthy on the field and playing. I mean, you can't go to work and then your best guy is hurt. It kind of brings down the morale a little bit when you got the best guy one of the best guys on the team that's going down, and then he's not able to play. But with Jackson Power Johnson, being able to say they got him down as a center and a guard, but I think his place is right there, right guard. But being able, like I said, being able having that versatility, being able to play both sides of the field, and just or both sides of the line is great. I think that they need him. He's going to be a great piece. Is starting an important? Is that very very? Is that really important to these starters? I would think so. Maybe cash wise, I guess it pays out a little bit more. Maybe it just bumps up their resume if they're a starter. But whatever issues too that he may have with the coaching staff, I think there's been some rumors that he probably had some issues with them, but we don't know. Let's see if we can find a soundbite on that. And I'll be right back. Hopefully my let me see. I thought I could be able to play music and you guys hear it in the background, but give me a minute. I'll be back. I got to do something. All right. You know what? I think I know how I can get the music. I can't. Oh, damn it. Okay. We're gonna work out these bugs. This isn't even the phone I'm trying to use. Okay. We'll work on that for the next show. Anyhow. So okay, so if I can't do that, um, all right. So I did have some notes of some things that we can be able to discuss when it comes to Jackson Power Johnson. I believe I do have a video of some of his stuff too. You know, just kind of what he does. Okay, so in my notes, I said that there's been outside speculation about Jackson Power Johnson's fit with both the previous coaching staff and more recently some observations about his relationships with the new staff, but nothing has been confirmed by the Raiders. So the bigger question becomes: is this simply a young player adjusting to new coaching staff, or is there something Raider Nation should actually be watching during the training camp? Um, Yeah, so obviously, or not obviously, but apparently there has been some rumors that he has not been too happy with the coaching staff. You know, we can all speculate if he is having any issues with the coaching staff, that it has to do something with his role on the line. Maybe he wants to start right guard. Maybe he wants to just be center. But if they're telling him that they're going to be moving him around a lot, that's probably something that he is not okay with. He doesn't want to really ride with. So there could have been some, some issues with that. Uh, we would really hate to have some sort of discrepancy like that with our players in this in the league right now with the team, because we want everybody. We especially if it's one of the key guys on the team, like we really got to have him, out there. Let me see. I thought I had a video of Jackson Powers Johnson, JPJ. Um, no, that's not it. Yes, this is right here. Okay. Shake your body all over me, woman. Shake it up. What am I doing? Still trying to download or what? All right. All right. So Jackson Powers Johnson was selected by the Raiders in the second round, 44th overall in the 2024 NFL draft after winning the Remington Trophy as the nation's top college center at Oregon. So in college, he was playing as center field. Center field. He was playing as a center, which actually gave him the role to be able to come in and play with the Raiders as a center when they needed him because he was only in there due to injury. He earned a spot on the PFWA All Rookie team after a strong rookie season. He has experience playing both center and guard, giving the Raiders flexibility on the offensive line. During the 2026 off-season program, he received most of the first-team reps at right guard alongside Spencer Burford, indicating that he is firmly in the mix for a starting job. And like I was asking a little bit earlier, I mean, does he need to be a starter, or is it just more of a desire? Like, what is the real reason that anybody wants to be a starter? Um, I mean, if you have a role, wouldn't you want to just at least play it? You know, I mean, hopefully that the injury that he did sustain, what was it last year? Hopefully, it wasn't something that he, didn't acquire or ended up getting because of the rotation that he was in. Because they obviously didn't know what to really do with him. They didn't. They didn't really play him in places where he was supposed to. And then being on top of that, the coaching staff just was a complete mess. There we go. See, I knew that I knew I was doing something wrong here. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Put user in timeout. No, we can't do that. Okay. So yeah. All right. So he reported to training camp early and is expected to compete for a significant role on the interior offensive line. So yeah, like I said, they're going to get him in his right guard. If he is going to be a center, then he's only going to be in there to be giving Linderbaum a break, rest. JPJ could be traded or even become a surprise roster cut. This idea has surfaced in the opinion pieces, but it is speculative. The same reports acknowledge that because of his talent and draft status, a trade would be more likely than an outright release if somehow he lost the starting job. So rumors and speculations right now, we don't really like to deal too much in rumors and speculations. We like to be able to know that there are hopes for the players. Obviously, Jackson Power Johnson I think is going to be an important piece to the team. If he's going to be okay with having that flexible kind of positioning, then that'll be great. But he is going to be fighting for a starting position. So if he is trying to just be in that one spot, or if he is going to be in that role where he's going to be moving around a lot, then he is going to have to start and push Burford out of the way. But with Burford, obviously, you know that he's been doing very well, and they're going to go from there. Let's see if we can find a soundbite from the coaching staff on our guy. So going back to Burford, well, not Burford, but Jackson Power Johnson. And then obviously there's another question is if he's going to be starting at guard or if he's going to be starting at center. So most observers expect right guard to be his primary position, but coaches could move him depending on injuries, competition, and how the line develops during camp. Again, I remember a lot of this is all speculation and expectations and whatnot. Can he stay healthy is another big question, whether or not he can stay healthy. They're saying that he's doing very well, that he's bounced back and he's ready. He's at full capacity. He's ready to get out there. What do you think? Do you think that Jackson Power Johnson is at full capacity? I mean, obviously we haven't seen him. We've been hearing a lot's been going on, but would you rather have Jackson Power Johnson starting as a guard or coming in as a flexible player that can move around? Whether or not he's going to be a Pro Bowl caliber, I mean, obviously he has the potential to do that, but we never know. Analysts believe that he has the ceiling because of his power, athleticism, and college resume, but it's still a projection rather than an established fact. Okay. Are the rumors about Jackson Power Johnson's overblown, or is it truly a make or break training camp for him? You can go on ahead and put your comments down. They'll pop up on the screen if you want to do that. Or, like I said, if we get more people in here, once we do get more people, and this goes a little bit bigger, we'll be getting phone calls because we're going to have a line. We can be able to open up for people that cannot jump in on. You know what I'm saying? So we'll just go from there. Like I said, being able to take phone calls, I think is going to be something that's going to be very, 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 very good. I don't think I sent out. Yeah, I don't think I sent it out right. There we go. Just in case my guys want to get on. Okay, so let me see. What else can we talk about? We still got Jackson Power Johnson in here. What's your confidence level in Jackson Power Johnson? He's a future Pro Bowler. He's a solid starter. I believe he is. Still has. He may or may not have. I think he may have to prove it. I think it's more of the health problem. I think that's probably where it's gonna be at. Concerned about the offensive line competition. Yeah, we'll see how that works out. Okay. Shake your body all over me, woman. Shaking it. All right, we're gonna have to rig this. So okay, let me just get you on the why is it doing that? Why is it doing that?
Of the Las Vegas Raiders in his first season as head coach here in Las Vegas. And Clint, the thing I love about you is you're all football, you're all business. You're like, I don't know about this WWE entrance that everybody else is doing. I'm just gonna sit in the chair. I imagine though the next 4 weeks after OTAs here, do you actually take a minute? I bet that's hard for you. Do you even know how to not think about football for 1 second?
No, it's important. Yeah, it's important for myself and our staff to get away and ask them to not come in the building, because the season's a grind, and it's important they come back fresh and spend time with their families.
Who helped you kind of learn that, to be able to be like, okay, you do need to take at least a week with your family a year?
Yeah, I worked for Leslie Frazier in Minnesota, and he had a staff meeting, and he said, I better not see any of you guys in this building for the next month. And he meant it. And I always appreciated that. And he was right. It's a long, hard season, and you got to refresh.
Yeah. So we have, so many, great coaches who have been here for this Raiders organization. Talk to me about your style of coaching and who kind of influenced you most.
Yeah, well, I think that my style is to be a teacher, and because I don't play, our guys play. So it's important for me to get a staff of teachers that can download information into our guys' brains and then hold them accountable and then have them go have success on Sunday. So, I don't think a whole lot about my style. I just try to be a good teacher and try to hold guys accountable and then put the players in position to be successful on Sunday, because it's all about them. It's got nothing to do with me or our staff. We don't do anything on Sunday, but on Monday through Saturday we have a lot to say to these guys. It's important we put good pictures in their brains, and when they get it wrong, we let them know. And when they get it right, we let them know. But we don't walk past mistakes.
I like that.
What made you not put the take the decals off the helmets and just kind of put that into the players' minds that that's kind of earned? Because I know in the back of their mind they probably assuming, man, when we take the field, we're gonna have to have the shield on our helmet. But to embrace, and what you got going on here, what was the decision to go through that?
We put a lot into our meetings this offseason about what it means to be a Raider, and the Raiders that have come before us. We spent a lot of time, learning about the history of the franchise, and I think it's important that the players knew that between themselves and the coaching staff that we're all trying to earn our jobs. And it's just a little bit of a symbol to take that away for the off season, give us something to work toward.
Absolutely.
It's just an extra emphasis on putting the work in and make sure we earn it and do it the right way.
We just sat up here with Jason Horowitz, and between the four of us up here, we've got about, I'm not kidding, we had got about 230 years of NFL experience between us. None of us could figure out what we would do with the quarterback situation. And that's probably a good position to be in, right? It just seems like if Kirk goes out there, you're in a good position. If Fernando wins it, you're in a good position as well. That would be good news. How are you going to orchestrate the logistics of creating kind of that competition? And as Kirk said, may the best man win, and it starts in training camp.
Yeah, I think we're giving guys a fair share of reps, and I would not count Aiden out. Aiden's had a phenomenal offseason. He's a professional. He's pushing Kirk. He's pushing Fernando. So I think John's gave us a great group of 3 guys to work with. Jacob, our 4th guy, our young guy, is doing a great job. So we just got to give them reps and make sure all 3 of those guys get time with the ones, and it'll reveal itself. But
yeah, see, don't count Aiden out, he says. But you know what? And like my speculations on that one when it comes to Aiden O'Connell, like I said, I think that they're going to just be trying to beef him up a little bit. Oops. I think that just going to be. I think that they are just trying to beef him up a little bit and trying to just get his like I said, getting Aiden O'Connell's just, getting his price up, I think, a little bit. Because who knows, during training camp, he just might be able to ball out too. If he ends up balling out on, wouldn't that just be great? If Aiden O'Connell ended up going into training camp and just balled out and was like showing Cousins, like, look, this is my team. And then telling Fernando, like, look, bro, I know you're the first rounder, but I got this. Of course, it's wishful thinking. We will see. All right. Okay. Let's see what else we got. So what are the biggest the storylines that you're expecting to hear coming out of the training camp? Like, what is it exactly that you're gonna be looking for? Another player that we were talking about, who may or may not, another veteran that we were talking about that may need to kind of improve his worth, comes in the form, I believe, of the defense again. I'm waiting for it to just load it. But let me see. I'm waiting for it to load up. I think the internet has been going down a little bit. Like I said, I do appreciate whoever's in here right now watching and taking off. Let me let you know again that we have the first preseason party going down Thursday, August 13th at Shenanigans at Kitchen and Bar, 7431 Madison Avenue in Citrus Heights, California. Bring your friends, wear your silver and black. There was an issue with your file. Please try again a little later. That's fine. That's fine. You don't care about me. See if I can pull her up again. Nope. Put the G out. Sorry. You made. Whoa. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I said whoa way before the song even came out. All right. Well, I'm trying to pull up. Damn, it's not even gonna let me pull it up. I wonder why. Saying there's an issue pulling up the files. Okay, yeah. I'm just having issues right now. I don't know what's going on with the internet, but I cannot seem to pull up any files for who I wanted to talk about. Whoa. Whoa. All right. Well, if we can't talk about that, let's talk about. Let me see if this will pull up. If this doesn't pull up, then I'm having some issues with my internet connection. And I know I paid bill, so. Yeah, so nothing's going to be pulling up on right now, so we'll just, I guess we'll just have to talk about it. All right. Oh yeah, there's some issues. Oh wow. Okay. All right, I guess we're just gonna have to work off of. Shout out to MC Reader. He posted earlier in Coach Kubiak's offense, the NFL was going to be in big trouble of what he's about to unlock with Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers. Yeah. We were actually fortunate this past weekend at the fan showcase to meet Brock Bowers' parents. They showed up for the fan showcase event with hosted by Raider Singh. A shout out to Raider Singh and everybody else. Gorilla Rilla was there, and Raider Senor was also there. Shout out to them, and shout out to all the other clubs and everybody else who showed up. All the artists that were there. It was a great performance. A lot of performances left and right, and just wanted to give a shout out to that. But yeah, having an opportunity to meet Brock Bowers' parents and where it came from was really, really good. All right, so in some other news here, we have. Sorry about that. All right, so he's expected to be the centerpiece of the offense with a healthier roster and an upgraded offensive line, a new quarterback of Fernando Mendoza. Expectations are that Bowers will once again be the focal point of the passing attack. Analysts expect him to return to being one of the NFL's most productive tight ends. All right, so drafted by the Raiders. 6'3", 235 pounds. Give me a second here. Tear his mother roof off like two dogs caged. All right, so All right, so with career stats, his 2024 season, he had 112 receptions with 1,194 yards, averaging 10.7 yards. His longest he had in 2024 was 57 yards. He had 5 touchdowns that year and 61 first downs. So that was that year. His rookie year was phenomenal. 2025 last year he had 64 receptions, so his numbers dropped down. That's not his fault. Okay. 64 receptions. That means it wasn't thrown in very much. 680 yards, still averaging that 10 yards. You know what I'm saying? His longest was 38. Still ended up bringing in 7 touchdowns last year. So Brock Bowers is, I mean, if he was only hit, for 64 receptions, 680 yards, I mean, that's amazing. I think he'll be able to double his numbers. So he has a total of 1,874 yards for the last 2 seasons with the Raiders. So, right? Am I assuming that's what's going on with him? Trying to pull up some good stats here. Oh my gosh, I cannot spell. All right, so 2025 last year he played 12 games, had 64 receptions, 680 yards, was averaging 10.6 yards per reception, 7 touchdowns. He actually rushed for 2 yards on 2 carries, so they gave him the ball a couple times. 2024, like I said, his rookie season, he ended up balling out with 112 receptions, 1,194 yards, still averaging that 10 yards of reception, and then receiving, he had 5 touchdowns, and he actually rushed 5 carries for 13 yards in his rookie season. So Brock Bowers, for the most point, is going to be one of the key. I think that either he or Ashton Jeanty is going to be one of the players to be able to have a breakout season. I mean, obviously, I think Ashton Jeanty is going to be number 1 on that one because you know the numbers that he put up. He ended up putting up almost 1,000 yards rushing in his debut as a running back in his rookie season, and that was with a very dysfunctional staff. The line was not there. It was a complete disaster last season. You thought that Pete Carroll was going to be able to come in. You're thinking that he didn't even really have a good relationship with Beast Mode. So what do you think that he was going to do with Ashton Jeanty? Obviously, he didn't do much because he wasn't even depending on his coaching staff to do what they were supposed to do. Going back with Brock Bowers, he's still viewed as one of the NFL's best tight ends. An ESPN poll on NFL executive coaches and scouts ranked Bowers as the number 1 tight end entering the 2026 season. And that's saying a lot because there are a lot of good tight ends out there. To have that player on our team is the best. 26 season. Sorry, I'm pulling up. All my notes won't pull up, so I'm having to go into another thing here. Okay, so heading into the 2026 season, going into the 2026 season, the tight end position features a blend of established superstars, elite young playmakers, and rising talent. Assuming delay is a typo or an autocorrect for the league, sorry. So going into the 2026 season, here are we'll say the top 5 tight ends in the league right now that they're saying they're going to have a great 2026 season. You got George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers. Despite dealing with a late season Achilles injury that he has been rehabbing, Kittle remains the gold standard at the position. He continues to grade out as the premier all-round tight end in football, offering elite inline and run blocking alongside a high-level receiving impact. I don't want to see anybody get hurt or not play, but I just don't see Kittle lasting very long in the next season. I mean, if he's already getting hurt and banged up the way that he is, it just doesn't seem like he's going to be doing that. But I'm going to have some people on at one point to discuss a lot about what's going on with the 49ers. Trey McBride of the Arizona Cardinals is coming off a massive record-setting campaign in 2025 where he hauled in 126 receptions for 1,229 yards and earned All-Pro honors. He has established himself as one of the most prolific pass-catching volume targets in the entire league. And, you know, Arizona is actually in a rebuilding stage with their quarterback, so, I mean, who knows what's going to be happening, you know, over there. But a tight end is a quarterback's insurance policy. So if he was doing great last year and he got those kind of numbers last year, I mean, who's to say that he's not going to be able to get those same numbers this year? However, going back to Brock Bowers, remember, Brock Bowers brought in 1,149 yards in his rookie debut, even though he caught 100, it was 112 receptions, but averaging 10 yards, you know, a catch, that's guaranteed first downs every single time. Okay. So that's what he's averaging. He's averaging a first down every catch. Okay, so and then in the third place you have Brock Bowers. Okay, so they have Brock Bowers after breaking a rookie receiving records during his debut 2024 season and battling through some minor injuries in his sophomore year. Bowers is fully healthy and primed for a dominant 2026 season. His breakaway speed, route running versatility, and yards after the catch ability make him a foundational piece of the Raiders offense. And with the new offense and the scheme that they have going on, whether it be Kirk Cousins loves a tight end, so that's going to be a plus for him. Mendoza, if he ever gets a chance to start, I think that he'll be able to build a great chemistry with the tight end. Like I said, tight ends are a quarterback's insurance policy, so you know you're going to be looking forward to seeing those two connect going into the 2026 season, because we all want to see Mendoza start. We all want to see him play and see how it goes. You don't draft the first round overall pick and not play him. At some point, you're going to play him. But then again, too, 4 years, I mean, you want to get the most out of him, so you don't just throw him in there. So following the Brock Bowers, you have Sam Laporta of the Detroit Lions, and then Colston Loveland of the Chicago Bears. Who I don't know who Chicago's going to be somebody else right now. They're not going to be the Bears anymore, I believe. But anyways, yeah, Sam Laporta and Colston Loveland. So he's actually ranked right now as the top 3 tight end. Like I said, behind George Kittle, Trey McBride. He has every potential to be the better quarterback or better tight end. All right, so I've babbled on for about an hour. You guys, thank you so much for joining in on the Sack Blackout podcast, where we talk about everything Raiders and make sure that we keep you up to date on what's going on. We drop a show every single week, and hopefully get to see y'all there. Don't forget about the watch party coming up Thursday, August 13th. Join us for the first preseason watch party. We'll be at Shenanigans 7431 Madison Avenue in Citrus Heights. I will be your DJ, and I am also the vice president of the chapter. We're going to be having the president coming out a little bit later on that night of the chapter. So if you guys are in full effect and want to talk to him, maybe get some information on how to become a member, and being able to follow us here on the podcast. We are the Sack Blackout podcast, Sack Blackout crew. Also, you can find us, the crew. We're going to be here at the Mesa Verde High School, and all the proceeds that they're going to be getting from the sales will go to the girls basketball team. Good portion of it. 7501 Carriage Drive, I believe it is. Yes, that's going to be 7501 Carriage Drive, Citrus Heights, California, 95621. Until next time, everybody, have a great day. Thank you so much.